Okay, in this video we are going to take a quick look at how to use the calculator to solve a few problems, and these involve quadratics. And we know it's a quadratic because you have something with x squared in it, or some variable like n squared, or it could be even some number with an x involved, but it has a square in it. So we're going to strictly just stick with a calculator on this, and we're going to see if we can make some sense out of this. So let's jump right into it. And I have a calculator up here, and we'll move it out of the way so we can see our problem. And the first one involves some kind of picture of these tiles, and we're not going to be too concerned about it, but basically what we're going to do is we're going to look at this equation, which is covered up by the picture, but it has x squared plus x is equal to 6. And what we're going to do is we're going to split our calculator, our graphing part, into two sections. We're going to put this half, the left side, in y1, and we're going to put equals 6 in y2. And we're going to see if we can't come up with a solution where the two lines cross. So first thing to do is we're going to put in our x, of course, x squared plus an x, plus x, and we're going to always start off with looking at the graph by using zoom number 6, and that'll give us a regular window. It's 10 high, it's 10 wide, 10 to the left, and 10 low. So the second equation, we hit y equals again, and we're just going to go down here and put 6. And we're going to graph and look and see where those two lines cross. Okay, a couple things that we could do is we can notice over here that it crosses. We could count over and look and see that it crosses at 1, 2, 3, -3. And look over here and see that it crosses right there. You go over x is 1, 2. So most likely it's going to be answer choice B. But let me show you another quick little technique here. You can hit the blue buttons on top of the graphing menu, which all the buttons on top have to do with the graph. So we're going to hit second, and we're going to hit the calculate, and we're going to look at number 5, which is the intersection. You can either just press 5 or you can arrow down to 5. And I like to use the left and right arrow keys to get close to the answer I'm looking for. And you can see I'm getting close to -3, right? If I go a little more, I'm a little above the intersection. But just hit enter. Once you get close, hit enter 3 times, and you're looking for the x value, and you can see that x equals -3. So I'll write that down here, x equals -3. And let's go back to the calculator and let's do the same process, and let's go look for that other answer. So we're going to hit number 5 again, and we're going to use the arrow keys, the right arrow key, and jump over to the other side of the graph, and you can see your cursor or your spider jumping over there, and that's pretty close to the answer. So I'm just going to hit enter 3 times, and I can see the answer is equal to 2. So let's move on to the next problem. So of course our answer on this one is going to be x equals 2, x equals 2. So we have our two answers right here, and that would be this answer choice B. Okay. Alright, let's move on, and let me try to erase some of this so we can have a clean part to work with here. Okay. Alright, so the next one has the graph, or not a graph, but it has these two equations. There's the left side. We're going to put that in y1, and we're going to put this one in y2, anytime you have an equal sign and you have some variables like n or x or whatever letter they give you, we can try putting it in the calculator, and we're just looking to see where they cross. So let's go ahead and put those two back in. So we hit y equals again, and we're not going to use the n variable. We're always going to use x when we go to the graph. So we're going to hit 2. Well, let's clear this out first. Hit the clear button. Get ourselves a nice window here. And we're going to hit 2. Oops. Having difficulties this morning. 2 x squared. And let's go ahead and take a look at that. Alright, makes a u. Makes a parabola, or graphs the quadratic right there. No big deal. Go down to the next line, and we're going to put 5x plus 7. 5x plus our 7. And let's look and see what happens here. And it looks like that it only crosses the graph one time. Let's see if I can drag that over to the... oh yeah, there we go. See if I can make that a little bit bigger. Okay. Oh, maybe I can't make it bigger. Oh, there we go. So let me drag that up, make it larger. Alright, so we have this on here, and you look right here, and you look at the answer choices. And the answer choices are the answer choices here all have 2 answers for n. And right now, all I see is this one answer right here, okay? And it looks like it's at about -1. And so I could probably go ahead and pick either answer choice A or B, but I noticed that this line that I'll trace, let me trace it in another color like blue, and and you can see that this line is going to continue up here, right? And the parabola, which I'll trace in green, is going to continue up here, right? And so I can't see this answer right here that I just put an X on. So what I want to do is I want to maybe zoom out a little bit and see if I can find that other answer. But before I do that, let's go ahead and find out and make sure that that red dot is really -1. Okay, so here we are, and we're going to hit remember second, calculate, number 5, and use our cursor here to get close to that. Hit enter 3 times. We're going to hit enter, and there it is at -1. So just by some quick test taking strategies, we're going to eliminate answer choice D because that has n equals a +1, and we're going to eliminate answer choice C. Now, if you're kind of pinched for time, you notice that this intersection here that I put this green X around, that is when X is a positive answer, right? So look at answer choice A. It's got a negative, right? So it's not going to be that one. So by the process of elimination, we have come to the answer. But let's go ahead and practice a little bit with our calculator. Let's look at the zoom feature on our calculator. Look up here. Remember, our top row is always for the graph. So if I hit zoom and try number 3, zoom out, just hit enter again and it'll zoom out for you. And you can see that it's kind of hard to see now, but we do have a second crossing right here, right? Where my mouse is pointing. Let's see if we can find it. Let's go to second, calculate again, and we're still looking for the intersection. And this time we're going to move our mouse. Our spider gets close to the answer over here, and we're going to hit enter, 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 and you see that the answer is x equals 3.5 right here. So let's go ahead and solve that one and move on to the next problem. Okay, so we did find the answer for that one. And let's go ahead and delete some of our stuff here so we get confused. Okay, and this next problem, once again, the strategy is going to be the same. We're going to take this side of the equation and put it in y1, and we're going to put this equation in y2. Alright, and notice that this y2 is going to, it's going to equal 36, right? Well, 36 is a pretty large number. So what we're going to do to take care of that is maybe look at a different zoom feature. So once again, let's put it in the calculator and go to our y equals, clear out our equation from our last problem, and let's put it in exactly like we see it. So we have 4 parentheses, and the parentheses right here, and we have 3x minus 2, x subtract 2, close the parentheses, and then we're going to square it. So we're going to use our square button, and that's one side of the equation. Let's go ahead and graph it. Whoops. Okay, looks like maybe I made a mistake. Let's go back and look at our equation and look and see that I put in an extra value here. So let's delete this, and I'm not really sure how I did that. Not to worry, just use your arrow keys and just delete what you don't need. Okay. Alright, let's graph that. Let's do our zoom 6 once again. Always a safe place to start. Number 6. And we can see the graph, and it's kind of hard to see it because it looks like it goes right up here. Alright, let's go ahead and put in our second value, which is 36. Not 336, 36, there we go. And when we graph it, we don't see that second line being drawn, do we? It's not up here. But let's do a special zoom this time. Let's go down and see if we can find this one that says fit, which is the number 0, zoom fit. Alright. It's going to recalculate it, and it's going to draw it a little nicer for us. And I don't know if you saw that, but down at the bottom it graphed that second line. So I can put this over here. And there it is. Alright. And it's really tough to see on this one because everything's so bunched up here, but it looks like I have an answer right here and another answer right here. One positive answer and one negative answer. So let's go back to the calculator and see if we can calculate the answers here. Remember, we're looking for the crossing, which is the intersection, number 5. And since it's kind of hard to see where your cursor is or your spider, but it's right there. Let's hit enter 3 times, and we're going to come up with one answer. And it looks like we came up with a negative 0.33333. So I'm going to jot that down because that's not one of our answer choices, is it? They're all in fractions, but we can take care of that. Let's take this and let's write the answer out. Negative. Sorry about that, folks. We'll write x equals a negative 0.3333. Okay, a bunch of 3's. Well, if you remember your fractions, when you have 3 repeating, it's going to be a 1/3, but let's just say that we forgot that little fact, and let's review another thing on the calculator. So we're going to get out of the graph screen, we're going to hit alpha y equals, and it's going to give us the first choice is numerator denominator, which is going to give us a blank fraction. So let's just type in negative 11 divided by 6 and see what we get there. Whoops. Actually, let's not do that. Let's just type in 11 divided by 6 because we want the decimal answer. That would be 1.833. If we did a negative 11 over 6, Of course, it's just going to be a negative 1.833, which is not 0.333, which is what we're looking for, right? What just happened? Okay. So let's go ahead and look at a negative point, or negative 1 divided by 3, and hit enter. And we can see that that's our answer. Now, if you're in a crunch for time, you notice that all the answer choices, there's only one that has a negative 1/3, right? Only one of them. So let's go ahead and put this as our right answer choice. But let's go ahead and make sure, since we really want to do well on this test, let's go ahead and pick the calculator. Let's go back to our graph. Okay, let me show you. We'll do a second calc again. Second, calculate, and we'll do a number 5 intersection. And this time I'm going to use the right arrow key until I get close to the answer over here. If I keep going, you can see the spider is eventually going to show up. There it is. See, it's above the line there. So that's close. Let's hit enter 3 times, and it jumps right to 1.6667. Okay, so let's go ahead and type in 5/3 and see if it matches that, because that's the second answer here, right? 5/3. So 5 divided by 3. And looks like we got our answer. Okay. Alright, let's look at the last one here, and then we'll call it a wraps on this one. Alright, the last one says that the completion of a chemical reaction is given by this equation. Okay, so we have a y equals, and we have some big numbers here, 250 minus 5x minus x squared. And y is the number of seconds. So y is seconds. And that's going to be important because we're going to have to go find that value in a minute. But we're not looking for the x value. It says x is, oh wait a minute, x is the temperature, so let's write that down. X equals temperature. Alright. And it says if the reaction is complete in 200 seconds, what is the temperature at which the reaction occurs? So here, these are temperatures, right? Celsius, 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 right? So we're going to try a different technique on this one. We're not going to so much be worried about the graph or the picture of the graph. We're going to go to our table. Alright, and these are all x values here. Let me erase my circles here so it's not too confusing. Alright, this is my x values. All the answer choices are x values. So let's put this equation in and see what we get. Alright, so once again we're just going to go to our y equals, and we're going to clear out everything so we don't get confused. And let's just type it in and see what we can find. So we have 250 minus 5x minus x squared. And we're not going to graph it this time. We're going to use the table feature. So everyone see up here that we have the table, which is in blue. So we're going to, whatever button is blue, or it could be yellow on your calculator or what some other color, we're going to hit second and table. And remember, we're going to go down to where x is equal to 5 and check our first answer choice. And it turns out that it's equal to 200. Now, you go down to 7, it's 166 degrees. Go down to 10 seconds, or excuse me, 10 degrees, and it's 100 seconds. And let's just check the last answer. At 12, it's equal to 46. So let's go back up and double check that before we circle our answer. And it certainly looks like that 5 is partnered up with 200. So our answer choice is A on that one. Alright, so when you get these equations that involve x squared, almost always you can put them in the calculator and come up with a solution. Alright, I hope you practiced along with this, and we'll see you